riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you, the listeners, if we hate it and why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire to my Obergrubenfellow, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how are you?
I am excited, and if I'm being honest, I am incredibly nervous.
Oh, well, you should be. How does one say, show me your papers in German?
Gib mir deine Papiere.
It's too many words. I'll have to work on that. In any event, how you doing, buddy, aside from your vague anxiety that I'm sure I have nothing to do with?
Oh, you don't, Garrett. I mean, listen, longtime listeners of this show, they'll remember my many failures with my even manier pitches to Netflix and Hulu and Tubi. But yesterday, Garrett, I had a really successful meeting with Netflix, and they have greenlit my most recent project, a remake of 2006's best film, You, Me, and Dupree, now titled You, Me, and Yogi. Obviously, I have cast you as Carl Peterson. You're a natural Matt Dillon type. You have real Matt Dillon energy. I don't think anyone could deny that. I will be playing...
That is insanely insulting.
I will be playing the gender-swapped Kate Hudson. And then we're going to be doing kind of an Air Bud kind of thing. Yogi will be playing Owen Wilson's classic Randolph Dupree character. I've already got him the wig. He's already chewed it up, which only made it look more like Owen Wilson's head. You know,
wow.
Batman, the dog, will do the Seth Rogen or Michael Douglas character, if we can get him. And Bill Hader has agreed to return as Mark. I have not written a word of the script.
Interesting. Well, it's a remake, so bones are there. Couple random questions. Probably don't want to know the answer. Why are we doing a gender swap? Let's see if we can get Kate Hudson back in the mix. Happy to play Matt Dillon if the other person is Kate Hudson.
The other person will be Tim.
God damn it. Why is it always Tim? Sort of a couch bed situation or more of the You, Me, and Dupree OG story?
I mean, it's going to hew pretty closely to it, obviously, with the Air Bud and the gender swaps tweaks, but...
Will you and the dog have gone to college together?
Me and the dog, well, all three of us will really have had a long history together.
Right. But if I recall, and forgive me if I don't, I hate that movie.
Well, then I don't think we should discuss this anymore. You're going to have to see it. Listen, if you don't like that movie, you're really going to... My movie's going to work either way, is my point.
There was this period where Owen Wilson's career got, really sad. It was You, Me, and Dupree, Drillbit Taylor.
Yeah, and then it got even sadder in real life. I don't think we need to get into this.
You brought it up. I was just going to stick to his filmography failures, not his life failures, and his death failures.
He's doing great now, by the way. He's in Stick on Apple TV.
I was going to say, he's in all sorts of Apple TV things I'll never watch.
Stick
and that nobody's ever heard of.
Apple TV.
I saw a headline that said, Apple has a new show starring Owen Wilson. It's another sad white guy. It's like, yeah, that sounds right. I'm good.
Mark Maron is in it, Garrett.
Who are your guys?
Oh, speaking of, Mark Maron's podcast is ending, so I assume we're going to get a ton more listeners in the next few weeks or whenever it is.
Yeah, and listen, we're willing to pander. Yeah, if I need to pepper in some pow.
That's true. I think we're willing to move to California and pivot this whole thing into some sort of interview of comedians show.
If we have to. It's honestly, people routinely insist we're the same human being, so interview-wise should go pretty smoothly.
Not if that person's here in the garage with us.
No, I think it'll probably follow even better. They'll know who's speaking.
Interesting.
And I get to do a lot of pow! Who are your guys? I like saying that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's great. Mark Maron is a national treasure.
Seems like a cantankerous cunt, actually.
Yeah, but I like him.
I like you too, Mark. I do too. I happens to be, most of my friends are cantankerous cunts. I'm just saying, as far as being a nice guy, I think that doesn't come naturally and you have a lot of issues. All right. Things everybody knows out of the way. Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the 1985 Philliam Collins single Sussudio, which, that's what we've been listening to.
Yikes. I didn't know if we were going to get out of that tailspin. Good job. And Timmy, after an entire week with Phil Collins' masterpiece, Sussudio, I'm curious. Do you hate it? Careful.
Oh, Garrett, I don't.
Whoa, you're working the rim here a hate, and I don't appreciate it.
I am. That is a gross way of saying what I'm doing. I don't think so, but maybe, kind of,
it's
maybe.
A hockey term.
Close. This is pretty dumb. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. I might get there. I don't yet. What about you? Do you hate this song?
Oh, no. My God, no, Tim. I love this song. That's how it should be answered. And you will too.
All right. We'll see if you can get me there. Get me to love this week, Garrett. I don't like how that comes out.
That's all right. I love it. You like it a lot, but aren't quite ready to say you love it yet. Before we can talk about the song itself, I'm curious, Tim, what is your history with Philliam Collins and specifically Sussudio?
Well, Garrett, I've been a big Genesis fan ever since the release of their 1980 album, Duke. Before that, I really didn't understand any of their work. Too artsy, too intellectual. It was on Duke where Phil Collins' presence became more apparent. I think Invisible Touch was the group's undisputed masterpiece. It's an epic meditation on intangibility. At the same time, it deepens and enriches the meaning of the preceding 3 albums. Christy, take off your robe. Listen to the... Sussudio, a great song, a personal favorite. Yeah, I've heard it.
I'm glad we got that out of the way. It would have been tempting. It's going to be right there dangling in front of us the entire episode, so I'm glad you just knocked it right out of the park up top. Yeah. Congratulations.
What about you, friend? What's your history with Phil, Christy, and Sabrina?
Oh my goodness. Don't just stare at her ass. Eat it. Tim, I'm a Collins head from way back. Unabashed. No shame here. Just top of my head. Another Day in Paradise. Easy Lover. You Can't Hurry Love. Two Hearts. I Wish It Would Rain Down. Against All Odds. And Sussudio.
To be clear, when you say you're a fan of Collins, you're saying you're a fan of Phil Collins. You are not a fan of Colin.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Right. Collins in general? No, not a fan. This song, this artist, huge fan. That's not even talking about Genesis, Invisible Touch, I Can't Dance, Tonight, 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 In Too Deep, Throwing It All Away. It is a huge part of our musical tapestry of America. I love this man. All right, so that's just my general appreciation, but I have a personal history with this song. I feel like we talked about this once before because this was not the only song we did this with, although we only ever really did it well once. Okay, so used to use this song to prank a, we'll say, friend of ours who did not like being startled, specifically in his bedroom. You know,
what a crazy bastard, right?
Right, real stuck up kind of guy. And I was friends with a guy whom we'll call Busey, because that's not his name. It's just exactly who he looks like.
It's a description and also his now name. Yes.
Anyway, so what we would do is I would distract this gentleman with like a random request, and then my friend Busey would sneak into this gentleman's bedroom and hide somewhere in there in brown army issued tidy whities and a latex pig mask.
What? See, I've heard this story. I've been present at many of these, and I'm still shocked at the details when they're laid out before me.
And then once the lights would go out and he'd get in his bed, our friend Busey would have, it wasn't a Bluetooth speaker because those didn't really exist then, but he had like a little cassette player or CD player, I guess it would be, iPod player, that's what they were called back then, that would play Sussudio, and he would begin dancing, party boying, from, if anyone's familiar with Jackass, party boying the guy in his own bed to the song Sussudio, wearing a latex pig mask and only wearing brown army issue tidy whities.
I feel like you're describing sexual assault, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. The only time we really brushed up against that was when we did the whole thing, because the funny part was we kept doing it. Like the fact that like the guy started checking his closet like a child for monsters was so funny.
Well, in his defense, there was a monster there frequently.
He was 100% right for looking, but like point is,
and he was a friend, you say.
That's what I said. Anyway, so one other time that we did this was we tried to use it for good. Similar vibes, no pig mask. We drove around campus with with Busey in the bed of the truck, still in the tighty-whities, only he was holding Tall Boys of Coors Light or Natty Light or some garbage beer. And we would drive up in my old Dodge with the 4 doors, roll down all the windows and play this while Busey slowly rose, dancing out of the bed of the truck holding the beers. And he'd dance out of the truck up to people and hand them out, and then we'd slowly lower the music and he'd slowly dance down into the truck. And then we'd just drive away innocently. So sometimes we used it for good. We only did that the one night, but we went all over campus. We got rid of a whole 30-pack. It was so fun.
Yeah, giving beer to children, doing good.
Shut up. They were of age-ish. Okay, that's my history. That's your lame history. That is to say we have the same history. Before we get into the meat of it this week, though, I'm curious, Tim, take me on a journey. Help everyone understand. Who is Philip Collins? How did this song come to be? How did we get this national treasure?
Well, Garrett, Philium David Charles Collins, or Phil Collins, as I have nicknamed him, was born in 1951 in London, England, 4,986 miles away from his spiritual home, San Antonio, Texas. More on that later. But he was born in London to a toymonger / theatrical agent mother and insurance agent father. He got his first
Did you say toymonger?
Toymonger, yes. It's like a fishmonger, but for toys.
That can't be a real thing.
He got his first drum kit for Christmas at age 5, followed by a few upgrades over the years, and the young boy began to teach himself to play drums by drumming along to the TV and radio, which must have been incredibly annoying. And yes, Garrett, at 5 years old, you are correct, he did look like a 45-year-old man. At the age of 5, Phil fell in love with the inspiring story of the Alamo, as most boys do, after he saw Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. According to thealamo.com, the website dedicated to his true love notes that when other children were out playing cops and robbers or other childhood games, Collins was reenacting the Battle of the Alamo. He was an insufferable pedant early on. He entered a talent contest at 7 to sing, you guessed it, the Ballad of Davy Crockett, slain hero of the Great Alamo, and stopped the orchestra who were backing him up halfway through to inform them that they were in the wrong key.
Whoa.
What a little cunt. He started playing piano, and with piano lessons at age 12, he got some basic drum lessons. He never learned to read or write music, but he did devise his own autistic system of musical notation that only he understands.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sort of awesome. I don't know why I was not ready for you to say music. I seriously thought you were about to tell me Phil Collins couldn't read or write.
Oh, I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
That's true.
No, I do know he can write.
In.
We'll get into it later. He can at least write one book. I do not understand the British school system at all. I read a lot about nonsense. At some points, what seems to be the equivalent of like late middle school or early high school, whatever they do there, he formed a band called The Real Thing, featuring the future Miss Collins, Andrea Bertorelli, on backing vocals. That band, of course, didn't work out, so he formed the bands Freehold, then Charge. He quit normal school at 14 and went to some sort of stage school. Unsure exactly what that is. He was an extra as a screaming Beatlemania-affected boy in A Hard Day's Night. He was also in various musicals and films, including a scene that was cut out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty,
I was a huge fan.
Bang Bang.
Or as it was pronounced in its Russian release, Chati Chati Bom Bom.
Exactly. In 1967, he got what I believe to be the strangest job we have ever discussed on this show. There was an ad campaign for Smith's Crisps, a British potato chip company, that featured what today would have been called, I guess, like a viral dance, the Crunch Dance. And Phil traveled throughout the UK teaching people this dance as some sort of like live meme.
Come on, everybody, we've got to do the Crunch Dance.
Yeah, that's the information I have. Now, keep in mind, he's 16, but looks like a 52-year-old man at this point. He is balding.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to hold back till we get to general thoughts, but like, if anybody doesn't know what Phil Collins looks like in we'll be nice, 1983. When did this song come out? 85?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, if you don't know what we're saying, it's worth a Google. Phil Collins, 1985. Prepare to be shocked at what passed for a pop star in the 80s.
Yeah, it's one of these things like when you see see you look at like Sean Connery at 35 and then like somebody in One Direction at 35, if they are 35, some pop star today, and you're just like, good God, now that was a man. I get it. Anyway, Phil joined John Walker's backing band, which then became the band Hickory, then became Flaming Youth. They released the album Arc 2 in 1969. Now, this, of course, was a concept album about an evacuation on some sort of space arc from a burning Earth, followed by a voyage into space. This needs to go on our short list, right?
Maybe.
Sounds great.
Was this their studio their debut album?
Well, no, this is not Genesis. This is Flaming Youth.
No, I don't know that we should waste any time with Flaming Youth then.
Well, yeah, Flaming Youth broke up immediately because nobody wanted to hear that. But Phil got an amazing opportunity. You see, George Harrison was recording a solo album right as the Beatles were breaking up. So he got the opportunity to play congas on Art of Dying.
What?
Unfortunately, when the song came out and he bought the album, his part was completely cut from it. Many years later, Phil met up with George Harrison and he asked him about it. And George was just like, I do remember that. I'm going to see if I can find the version with you playing on it. And he's wrote him back a couple days later. He's like, I fucking found it. Here you go. And he sent him the song. And Phil listened to it and was horrified and embarrassed because the congas were just absolute dog shit. Like just off. Like he just did an incredibly bad job. And he carried this around with him apparently for years until George Harrison apparently approached him later and was like, hey, Phil, what'd you think about my joke? And Phil was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, I could not find that. I intentionally recorded a bad conga part. I literally remixed this song that nobody will ever hear except for you just to fuck with him because George Harrison might be the best Beatle.
Easily.
In 1970, the band Genesis put out an ad for a new drummer in Melody Maker. Collins obviously won the part. He became the fourth Genesis drummer and also got the opportunity to sing as well. His voice really matched well, both as a backing singer and as a co-lead with Peter Gabriel. Genesis released Nursery Crime in 71, Foxtrot in 72, Selling England by the Pound in 73, and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway in 74, after which Peter Gabriel left. The band auditioned a bunch of new singers and eventually just settled on having Phil sing lead. They released A Trick of the Tail in 76, which did really well, and they ended up having to bring in additional drummers to play live when Phil was singing lead. The whole time, of course, Phil is doing a bunch of guest spots on other people's albums because he has not been shamed by George Harrison yet. In 1978, Phil went to Vancouver, Canada to try to save his first marriage. We've all been there. And as we all know, that does not work, and so he returned to England to get divorced. Genesis continued. They released Duke in 1980, one of Garrett the Patrick Bateman of the group Harvey's favorites, which hit number one in the UK. Phil then released his debut solo album Face Value in 81, which hit number one in the UK and sold 5 million copies in the US, which at the time only translated to number 7 on the Billboard 200. That featured, of course, In the Air Tonight with that drum bit that everyone knows, which was memorably parodied by Apologetics as In the Afterlife.
No,
yes,
it's not.
Yes, it was.
It was not.
It was, memorably. Genesis kept releasing albums that kept hitting number one. Phil kept releasing albums that also hit number one on various charts in both the US and UK. He did Band-Aid and played drums on Do They Know It's Christmas in 1984. He released No Jacket Required, featuring the Song of the Week in 1985. He was starting to move in more of a pop and dancey direction at this point. And again, at this point, his solo work is becoming more popular than his music with Genesis. But critics fucking hated him. And apparently this really bothered him and would frequently call critics to take issue with some of the negative reviews, to which I say, call us, Phil.
That's so interesting. Like, I love Phil Collins, and to hear that critics hate him, I mean, that's probably accurate, but maybe it's nostalgia or what I grew up with. I don't know. But I don't love all of it. In fact, I probably love 15% of it.
Right. And you should love less than that, I think.
I see. I'm still in the wrong.
Yes, according to critics, which, as we know, are more important than audiences.
I wonder if they've come around to it, and now I'm justified in my opinion.
Probably not. He did this song Against All Odds for the film Against All Odds and was nominated for an Oscar for it. He wanted to perform it at the 1985 ceremony, and he had his manager or Atlantic Records or whomever ask ask the guy that was organizing the Oscars, Larry Gelbart, but he apparently wasn't a fan either because he turned him down and sent him a note saying, "Thank you for your note regarding Phil Cooper. I'm afraid the spots have already been filled." What a fucking savage. Ryan King performed it in his absence. I don't know who that is. Genesis released Invisible Touch in 1986. That became their biggest album. And Phil was in the film Buster about the 1963 train robbery. Princess Diana notably declined an invitation to see it because it glorified crime. The 80s were a very weird time.
Yeah.
He was nominated for an Oscar for a song he did on that soundtrack, though, as well. He released But Seriously in 1989, featuring some smooth David Crosby vocals. He released We Can't Dance with Genesis in 91. He did a cameo in the excellent film Hook, then released his solo album Both Sides in 1993, and finally left Genesis in 96. After repeatedly cheating on his second wife, Phil divorced her, that's Jill Tavelman, in 1986. The stories say he did this by fax. He disputes this, but she did make a cool 17 million pounds sterling on the deal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder how long they had to be married to get 17. Like, I might marry Phil Collins for a couple of years for $17 million.
I'd marry him for far less. Think about the stories, Garrett. Think about that George Harrison story. Well, he might not be able to do this. At this point, he has to have his drumsticks taped to his hands. We'll get into his back surgeries in a minute.
What is he, a Muppet? Taped to his hands?
Oh, he's got severe nerve damage, Garrett. He started the Phil Collins Big Band in 1996. He released the studio album Dance Into the Light the same year, and then he did the music for 1999's Tarzan, the animated film, which finally won him that Oscar for Best Original Song. In 2000, he then got a viral infection that caused him to lose hearing in his left ear for a full 2 years. Not sure why that's funny.
I don't know either, but it's just so unexpected.
He was tricked into appearing on a British show called Brass Eye, where he was tricked into endorsing a hoax anti-pedophile campaign, and they got him to wear a shirt that says nonsense on it. Pretty funny. He released the album Testify in 2002. He did the soundtrack to the animated film Brother Bear in 2003, and he did a first final farewell tour in 2004 to 2005, followed by a musical production of Disney's Tarzan in 2006. Also in 2006, he appeared as himself in Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, in which the main character has to save him from mafia hitman. He also plays In the Air Tonight at some point.
I own that game. I have never seen that.
Yeah, apparently there's a mission where you have to defend the scaffolding above his concert against saboteurs. It sounds made up.
Yeah, I mostly just use cheat codes and get 5 stars constantly.
Fair enough. In 2009, he had neck surgery that resulted in him losing feeling in his fingers, and again, he had to tape drumsticks to his hands. He, of course, considered killing himself, but decided not to, for the sake of his children and his one true love, Garrett, which is, of course, the Alamo.
No, come on.
It is.
That's not a fact.
We'll get to it. It fucking is. In 2010...
It didn't keep him going. He didn't keep going forward. He didn't scream, "Remember the Alamo," and drop the blade.
Garrett, you might reconsider that when I get done with this history.
I can't believe that. I have been to the Alamo 7 times. You know what it is?
Garrett.
Disappointing.
Garrett, I promise you're going to reconsider that by the time I'm done with this history. We're getting into the seriously autistic Alamo portion of his life. In 2010, he released an album of Motown covers called Going Back. Then, in 2012, he received the greatest honor of his life, an honorary doctorate from McMurray University in Abilene, Texas, for his research and collection of Texas Revolution artifacts and documents. You see, Garrett, Phil really does love the Alamo. It is his greatest love. He has collected hundreds of artifacts related to the 1836 battle. He does events related to it. He narrated a light and sound show about the Alamo. He published a 2012 book about it called Alamo and Beyond, A Collector's Journey. This is how his autism presents. It also presents with a love of trains like Neil Young, Rod Stewart, and Eric Clapton. He is a model train enthusiast, and he loves King and Country toy soldiers, but it's mostly about the Alamo.
Got it. He likes painting toy soldiers, model trains, and researching the Alamo.
And collecting things from the Alamo. In 2014, Phil performed at the Miami County Day School, reportedly having been asked to perform there by his sons, who were students at the school and presumably hadn't seen their father in a while. I don't know why else you would want your dad at your high school. Also, in 2014, Phil held a press conference at the Alamo to announce that he was donating his entire collection via the state of Texas to the Alamo, or, whatever historical society maintains it. And then in 2015, he was made an honorary Texan by Land Commissioner George P. Bush and both houses of the Texas state legislature. Garrett, this man loves the Alamo.
I'm just shocked by that.
He continued to tour and reform Genesis. He has slowed down significantly, though. He had a lot more back and other body part surgeries. His son Nick was the drummist in his band while he just did vocals for a while. And as of February 2025, he isn't planning any specific new music. So we may have heard the last of Phil, but we have not seen the last of Phil or his love of the Alamo. He will be back next year with books and other stuff about the Alamo. And to that, Garrett, I say, peace and chaos be upon thee.
And I will say, remember the Alamo to you. Great history, Tim. A lot of twists and turns. A lot of surprises. Some of them shocking. Most of them boring.
Not the Alamo stuff, though, right?
No, that's kind of the cornerstone of the boring argument.
I would argue shocking.
Well, yes, it began shocking, but like all things Alamo, become disappointing and monotonous by the end.
You know who would disagree with that statement?
Yes. I'm not going to dignify it with a fucking name, but yes. Okay, before we go any further, Tim, we must let everybody get a taste. Here it is, folks. Phil Collins' masterpiece, Sussudio.
Let's start with the music, Garrett. This is pretty stupid, right? It's upbeat nonsense. It's incredibly bland. It's what the problem is. Critics immediately pointed out that this sounds exactly like a cheap knockoff of Princess's 1999, to which Phil said, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. And it does. They're all correct.
What's crazy is I've heard this song 3,000 times if I've heard it once, and I've never noticed that. And then I fucking read it and was like, oh my God.
Yeah, once you think of it or somebody else thinks of it for you, it's inescapable.
Yeah, it's all you can hear musically.
Yeah, well, but the other problem with it is it's so bland. It's such a bland version of that because in the 80s, he kind of pioneered this sort of bullshit that's very inconsequential, very soulless. It sounds like the sound Madonna must have had in her head when she was thinking of Material Girl. It's very plastic, and it's a very perfect choice for Bret Easton Ellis because I feel like it fits the B-Man very perfectly.
Yeah, it's commercialist nonsense. Pablum.
Yes.
There's no substance here. I love it. It's so fun. But yeah, this song is not very good. And let's just I'll wait till we get into the lyrics, but I have had the same theory since I was about 9 years old.
I've got a new theory for you if you'd like.
We'll get there. We're not there yet. Let's talk a little bit. We touched on Phil Collins' appearance, but there's a few things Should we wait for the
video to do that?
You're right. You're right. Yep.
Because I don't really have anything else for the video other than his appearance, because I couldn't focus on anything else.
It is distracting. It is. You're right. Okay. Then we've talked about the music. I guess we have to get into the lyrics. And don't worry, folks, there's about 11 of them, so won't take long. But we begin. There's a girl that's been on my mind all the time. Sussudio. Oh. Now, she don't even know my name, but I think she likes me just the same. Sussudio. Whoa.
Of course, the original lyrics, there's a place that's been on my mind since I was 5, Alamo, and it don't even know my name. It's inanimate. Alamo.
Alamo.
Yeah.
I want to live there all my life, but it's just not a real building. Alamo.
They keep saying it's a museum, but goddamn it, I feel like I should be able to buy it.
It's super depressing.
Yeah, it's so small.
It's so underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's the Plymouth Rock of Texas. You can literally feel the collective, that's it.
Well, you know who it did impress, Garrett? Phil goddamn Collins. He wrote this song.
I think he worked it up so much in his mind
it.
when he was living in wherever the fuck he was, Charmshire, Birmingham, whatever. You guys have the stupidest
London
town
is
names.
Very impressive.
Oh, was he in London?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. While he was over there in merry old England, he was idolizing the Alamo, building it up, as a boy does. Listen, I had the unfortunate reality of living just a mere 6 hours away, so we popped on down to SeaWorld to see some sad fish, and stopped by the Alamo only for me to go, it's a facade. That's all it is, and a basement.
Now, did you say facade or facade?
Of course I said facade. Now, I think he built it up, finally got over there and was like, oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I think it's great. It's not wildly underwhelming at all.
I'm going to dedicate a large portion of my life to this so no one knows that I'm disappointed in this one moment.
Yep, perfect.
There's a place that's been on my mind since I was 5. Alamo.
Now, did you notice that there's a vocal effect going on here?
Yes.
You could call it auto-tune, but that's not what it is. It's more akin to, I don't know, putting your voice through a keyboard or something.
Yeah.
More like a Frampton-y thing.
Yeah.
It adds to the song. I enjoy it. Let's keep going. We hadn't really actually talked about what he said. We should get into that. So there's this girl he seems to be into, thinks about her all the time. Her name is Sussudio. And let's just stop right there. No one's name is Sussudio.
Nope.
That's ludicrous. Let's get into what he says is going on here. The lyrics are about a schoolboy crush on this girl at school. He said at the time, quote, it's actually happening with my daughter now. She's 8 years old and she loves this boy, but she won't tell him. Like in the lyrics, this boy loves her, but he can't talk to her about it. I know she likes me, doesn't know my name, doesn't know I exist, but I know she likes me. So that's what this song is about. So Sussudio became the name of the person, and since it's become, this is crazy. He says he was just walking around going, Sussudio. And he was like, I'll just make it about this girl and whatever. And he goes, I have learned since that there are people that have been named Sussudio.
Yeah, he's been ruining people's lives with this song.
Yeah, he does publicly apologize for that.
I think this is great. I love the idea that there are musicians should band together, and instead of writing songs about your Jennies and your Kates and your whatevers, they should write them exclusively about crazy nonsense words to trick idiots into naming their kids after it.
She's my girl, she's my Skeletor. We should name our daughter Skeletor.
Yes.
I love this idea.
It's nice too, because like you can immediately, like if you meet a girl named Skeletor and this song is out there and this song is, slightly older than this girl, you can immediately tell, oh, this girl is descended from genetic idiots. So
yeah, no, it's a do not enter sign. Just keep on moving. That's a big old pile of crazy out there.
It's crazy or stupid, yes.
Yeah, not good for breeding. Your words, not mine. Song continues. Now, she don't even know my name, but I think she likes me just the same. Sussudio, if she called me, I'd be there. I'd come running anywhere. She's all I need, all my life. I feel so good if I just say the word Sussudio. Just say the word, oh, Sussudio. Now, Tim, my entire life that I can recall, I have had the belief that we are dealing with a situation where Phil Collins was sitting in a silent room attempting to write a hit song. And he was there just like, I'm in the Sussudio. Wrote a song about the studio. And then we got sort of a Maharishi situation, but he never replaced Maharishi with Sexy Sadie. Instead, he was like, I can't write a song about a studio. I'll just call it Sussudio. And that's how we get this song. I fully believe that to this day.
I think that's probably accurate, yeah. And now people, so it's a shame because what those poor kids should be named is Studio,
which honestly, better name. I'm Studio. God, that sounds like, you know what it sounds like? Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Yes.
Those weird aliens that get split into two and become one are called Station.
Oh.
Ask your parents, kids. Okay, let's see here. So this guy seems obsessed with this woman or this studio.
Yeah. It's a really dumb song. Like, very little thought was put into this. And that, I guess, kind of works, right? Because it did work.
It did work, absolutely. Wrote a song about a studio. Song continues. Now I know that I'm too young. My life has just begun. Sussudio. Oh, give me a chance. Give me a sign. I'll show her anytime. Sussudio. Tim, I gotta ask. He's 34 when he wrote this song. How old's this woman?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, perhaps, again, like you're saying, let's say this woman that he is pining after was from around 1836, we should say, you know? And it's getting a little crumbly. It's down there in Texas. It's, it's overlooked. Maybe it's not the prettiest Sussudio.
I'm shocked it took this long.
My point is that this song is about the Alamo. All of his songs. I actually listened to most of his work post-Genesis. A lot of it might be about the Alamo, Garrett.
God, that's amazing. I mean, he had already begun this fascination at this point.
Oh, he began his fascination, I don't know, by the looks of him, 42 years before this. Unclear how long in real years.
Yeah, no, he's some sort of...
I mean, again, we'll get to it in the music video. This son of a bitch has never looked young a day in his life.
No, he's basically looked the same age his whole life.
Yes, until he looked much older, which is now.
No, right. Which is now, and that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I have the same thing, but it's like 17 instead of 46.
Yeah, yours is reverse.
Yeah, but essentially,
you look ostensibly the same as you have since you were 17. He has too. He just came out of the womb looking like a 52-year-old retiree.
Yes.
God, that hairline is baffling.
He looks like, and I mean this again, this is for you. He looks like one of our friends from college who immediately after college got a job at a bank and has worked there. For the past 25 years, just every day going to a bank, and it's drudgery.
But instead, he's an international superstar.
Yeah, a sex symbol, Garrett. When really, I think the problem is, so it's the allure, right? Because it's mysterious. Because women,
it's the fame.
No, it's not, Garrett. Women want him because he doesn't want them. Because his true love cannot be fulfilled by a human.
Conventional means.
Right.
I'm Phil Collins, and I'm in love with the Alamo. Welcome back to My Strange Addiction.
See here, I caught her the other night humping the building. Fuck off, you cunt. We're in love, you can't understand it.
Oh, when that boy made love to his car and his military father saw it. Oh, dude, my heart broke for them both.
Yeah, I've never empathized with anybody more than I did with that poor father.
Or that boy. Simultaneously, they're both,
so sad.
Yeah, it's like, imagine your father walking in on you watching, I don't know, let's say Scream 1.
Don't say Scream.
But instead you're neck deep in a car.
Right.
Or the Alamo.
And you're about to go on national television and declare that you make love to your car. You have so little to lose. That's a win of a proposition. Now, Tim, get ready for your hair to be blown back if you hadn't in it. Remains to be seen if you do.
I do. It's just clear. We've been over this.
If you say so. There's an update.
Oh.
Yeah, so he moved out of his dad's. He broke up with the car, and he is now in a throuple with an Escalade, and I don't remember what the other car is.
Dave Cat.
The other car is Dave Cat. Hey, everybody. It's Dave Cat.
In all honesty, like, that man, his son could come home and just be like, Dad, I'm done with the cars. I'm gay. And his dad would be like, okay, well, at least we're moving in the right direction here. And then he brings home...
Gay with a person? Yeah, this is Dave Cat. Oh, thank God.
Well, I'm sorry. Who is this? Jesus Christ. Somehow worse.
And these are my sex doll wives. Oh, God damn it.
Helen,
I'll be in the bathroom murdering myself.
Helen, I'll be in the bathroom eating bleach like, the rest of the episodes of that show that are less good.
God damn it. Oh, yeah. Still funny, though. I eat rocks. You what?
But don't.
Anyway, yeah, but don't is the right answer. Okay, let's keep going. Song continues. I've got to have her. Have her now. I've got to be closer, but I don't know how. She makes me nervous and makes me scared. I feel so good if I could just say the word.
Alamo.
Alamo. Whoa, whoa. So here's a fun idea. Phil Collins obsessed with a woman, but let's pretend this woman's in an incredibly pedestrian setting where it's not natural for him to come in contact with him in a social setting. And so Phil Collins, smitten with a girl at Wendy's drive-thru, gets a job as Phil Collins, undercover boss style, just to get closer to her.
Yeah. Maybe he starts dating an employee of the Alamo so that he can hang out more in the Alamo, I think.
Yours is better. So do you have like keys so you can go inside when other people aren't there?
Do you like sleep inside here? You go home at night.
Where do you live? In a suburb called Bandera.
I don't want to say.
I don't want to say. Just give me the keys, love. Oh, God damn it. Phil, I followed you last night. I don't know what you mean. When you snuck out of the house and you took my car, I followed you. I just wanted to check it out, babe. I wanted to see what it was like, without a bunch of kids running around. I came inside. And I saw.
I saw
what you were doing.
You also came inside.
I guess we both did then, love, didn't we? Charming bastard. Gross. Don't come in the Alamo. Don't piss on it and don't come in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess him and Ozzy have sort of opposite reactions to the Alamo.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand what his statement was, but
it's Tesla. That's his statement.
Don't like Alamos.
Well, yeah,
okay, so
Tesla. What was that?
Over there, we go. Just like a paper, just lying alongside the in the corner.
Yes, I think I got
that.
Oh,
you poor old man with your Parkinson's. Leave him alone.
Your refusal to admit you have Parkinson's, yeah.
That was strange. I mean, it was neurodegenerative. We can call it what you want. Eventually, it's going to be Parkinson's. Just saying. Alrighty, song continues. I can't believe we're still talking about it. With the chorus again, not going to read it because Jesus Christ. We get the outro. Just say the word. Oh, just say the word. Oh, Sussudio. Several more Alamos and we're out. Tim, music video. What a weird situation.
We're talking about his head, right?
Let's set the stage before we talk about what's going on with his face. We start on the street outside of a pub where a man is walking his dog and people are leaving the pub, and it's very clear this is a set. Like yes. It's not a real street.
Yeah, it looks like a stage play.
Yeah, or Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Or Moonwalker.
No, Moonraker is that excellent James Bond film.
That might or might not be legally a James Bond. Unclear. Anyway, we go inside the pub to find Phil is finishing up a song to a very bored crowd. And he is, I'll just set the stage and then I'll shut these lips, the least rock star looking dude maybe on planet Earth.
Yes. Yeah. He looks like Andy Kaufman's, like in the midst of his foreign guy character, but if that guy was doing a cameo in one of the least famous Monty Python sketches.
Jesus.
Because it's the Andy Kaufman face and also kind of hairline, worse hairline, but it's all very British. It's got the suit in it. It feels Monty Python-esque to me for some reason.
We've hinted at it. The hairline makes Goggins look like he's got a full head.
Yeah, it makes me viscerally angry, and I want to do something about it, but I also feel powerless to stop it.
It's so far back it makes you question for a moment if he did it on purpose, and he's coupling it with a mullet, which is crazy, and an oversized 80s suit.
Yeah.
He just looks ridiculous.
Is it Andy Kaufman? Because Andy Kaufman died almost exactly 1 year. It's like 3 days off, almost exactly 1 year to the day before this single came out. And I have to ask, Garrett, is that a coincidence?
The world may never know.
No, probably
not.
He
looks like a CPA.
Yes, but not the attractive not like one of the 4 attractive CPAs at the office. Like the one that wants to hang out with the cool CPAs, but they make excuses so he doesn't get to go to lunch with them, and so he hangs out at the goddamn Alamo all day.
He's nerdy and pudgy. He looks like your dad's weird friend.
Yes.
Who wants to convince you. You know what he looks like? He looks like somebody's dad who's been divorced 2 years and he's quote unquote got it together now.
Yeah, but got it together means that he has been practicing practicing like some card tricks to woo a lady with.
Yeah, he's good at close-up magic, and his old lady Cheryl is 23 years younger than him and may or may not be addicted to something she's snorting constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Tim, before we get into we can say what the music video is. The band performs this song on stage in the pub, and the crowd slowly gets into it.
Yeah. It's a 10-piece band instead of a very small club. I do like that the horn section kind of appears out of nowhere, and it does not appear to be even attempted to make it look like they're filmed on the same area.
That's what blew my mind. I counted 9. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 10th. How are they making any money in this band?
Well,
not in real life, obviously, but as a band performing in a pub.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
You can't split that up 9 ways. That's not even going to get you bus fare. I want to talk about Phil's dance moves. A lot of fist work.
Yeah, I think this is where he wins it back, right? Because he's got that appearance. He's got that weird personality quirk. He's dancing. That's what's bringing in the ladies.
I would not have thought that was the case. He looks ridiculous. He does a lot of fists in front of him, kind of like, it's kind of a deal.
It feels like he went to dance, realized he looked ridiculous,
he doesn't know how,
and then tried to play it off like he was kind of stretching or something. Like he was working a kink out of his neck, which spoilers for his future life. That's going to be a problem.
No, what a bummer. He does some air bass. You see him slap that bass a little bit. And when he started slapping the bass, I lost it.
Because the way they film it, there's this moment where he makes contact with the bass player, and they're both like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, we're doing it."
Now that guy's doing it. You're
Yeah, you're doing air bass. Now, the crowd was fun to look at just because they're aggressively 80s and UK, which is a fun cross-section.
Yeah, which basically means they look a little bit like they belong in the vicinity of Phil Collins.
Yeah, I was going to say chuds. Bunch of goddamn chuds. Anyway, that's the music video, Tim. How did this thing do?
Pretty good. It was a #1 single on the US Billboard Hot 100. It was a #1 single in both Panama and Peru. It only hit #3 in El Salvador and the Dutch, though. It was pretty low in the U.S. On the year as a whole. It was the 45th best-selling song in the U.S. in the year of my birth, 1985, and was only certified gold. So that sounds like it did kind of poorly, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Right? It only sold 500,000 copies. But I think you have to keep in mind that it was on No Jacket Required, which sold 12 million copies in the U.S., 25 million copies worldwide. So probably nobody needed to buy the single because everyone already had it.
Wow, that's crazy. To think that people didn't. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, that's how it did. What did people think of it?
Well, The Guardian's Tom Service wrote that Sussudio brings me out in a cold sweat. There's no colder or more superficial sound in popular music. The Village Voices, that is, of course, Bobby Christgau's publication, Michael Musto said it was the second worst song ever. And I'm quoting here, it could have been the theme song for the Third Reich. It was that insidious and evil. Audio has never been this hateful.
Oh, I disagree.
He would too, because it was not, audio has never been this hateful, except for Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy, which was his pick for #1 worst song.
That was my favorite song as a 7-year-old boy.
Yeah, you are terrible. There are 90 total ratings on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 88% 5-star, 1% 1-star. None of them are really interesting, and to be honest, very few of these YouTube comments are particularly interesting.
Then fuck them.
Well, I've got one for you, Garrett. This is by Viennese from 1 month ago, and this has been edited. This is the saddest YouTube comment you're ever going to hear.
God damn it.
April 19th, 2025. Another year, another birthday. Wishing myself a happy birthday and all the best on this special day of mine by dedicating this song to a local radio station I listen to daily as my birthday shout-out song. Phil Collins, one of the greatest of all time. A man who played a major part of my childhood all the way to adulthood. Hashtag April 19th. Hashtag it's my birthday. That man
that's not so
has
that's not
no
cool.
friends. Garrett, he is calling a radio station, presumably doing a lady's voice, requesting that they play this song for him on his birthday, and then he's he's getting jazzed up to hear it.
Wow.
Let me
All
read
right.
one more, Garrett. 2011, your life one day ago. To the person that reads this, I ask the Lord to bless them and their family, to cure them of
What?
every sickness and pain, to fill their emptiness with love, joy, and peace, to rebuke
Nice.
the enemy from their lives. Ask Jesus to come into your heart and save you, and to forgive you of your sins. For we give thanks and glory to the Lord in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
It sounded like it was too good to be true, and then there was a goddamn catch at the end. I will not accept your Christ.
Rebuke
Now, Tim,
the enemy, Garrett, who is the devil.
I do love the word rebuke. Now, top of my head, we don't rehearse this. Let me see if I can give you a sadder birthday story. Top of my head.
No.
You objectively tell me. I don't know. You know
Okay,
this. I
all
don't.
right.
I don't know because it's my life.
I'm already,
what's sad?
I'm
and
already
what's
going to
normal.
say it's probably yours.
I don't know. I don't think this is too bad.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Would you rather be alone on your birthday or have this conversation with your father? 9:30 at night. Hey, Dad, you know it's my birthday, right? Yeah. Guys who get B's on the report card don't get birthday parties. Now go to bed.
What made
That
you
was
a
my 13th
strong
birthday.
man, right?
I don't know. That's really stuck with me. That was a while ago.
I mean, listen. Let me give you a possible way for that to be worse. What if he had said, "Boys that watch Scream as often as you do don't get a birthday"? Seems like you've already had your fun, boy. Now go to bed.
That would be worse, but I was much older when he stumbled
God.
onto that. Oh yeah.
28.
No. I actually don't remember now. I think it was 18.
That's way too old for. I mean, okay.
Way too old for what?
For Screamed. You know, it's okay. It's okay.
Tim, they don't have a great internet connection. It wasn't like I set out for that to be I find Nev Campbell very attractive. I won't apologize for that.
Well, listen, sure. But okay. All right.
We support Nev Campbell on this podcast.
We do. That is true. Come on to
Thank
this
you.
podcast, Nev Campbell. Garrett has a
that would
story
be
to tell you.
uncomfortable. I would tell her that story.
Yeah, I would too. I might
I would try to tell her before you told her, and ideally not on mics. And maybe give her a small gift. I don't know.
God.
Something to apologize.
Oh, sorry. You meant, okay.
Not my
Oh, God. I'm bleeping that. Jesus Christ. You can't say load on the air.
Oh God, I spilled everything. Oh, you can't say load on the internet.
No, man.
I think you can.
No.
We'll
Who's this
check.
for, Garrett?
Me.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Me. Do you hate it, Tim?
No, I don't. I didn't get there. I think it's one of those things that it is so of its time. I mean, it's fun bad, right? It's really bad, but it's fun
It's
bad.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah, I hope
I
you
love
down.
it.
Oh, God, that would have been a weird coup for me.
Shocking twist.
Yeah.
Certainly would not have given you credit for it. Okay. You don't hate it. I don't hate it. America, give it a listen. Listeners, hatepodmail@gmail.com. If you're a bit younger than us and didn't hear this, I don't know, ever. I don't know if it was popular on what would it be? Oldies? If you were born in 2000?
God, it probably is. I mean, well, I don't know.
I mean, it would be 15 fucking years old if you were born. So let's say if you're born in 2000, you're 10 years old. That's now a 25-year-old song.
Yeah.
That's like you and I in fucking 1990 listening to, what would it be, 65? What kind of math you can do on an envelope. Yikes, we're old. Okay, that brings us to listener mail. Tim, you want to go first or should
I think this week I'd like you to go first.
My email this week, Tim, is bittersweet. It asks a lot of hard questions and at times drove me into a rage. And I only read the first sentence, so I can only imagine because it seems a little long. Let's get into it. The email is entitled, "Are You Funny or Just Pretending?" And it's from a gentleman named, and I'm sure I'll mispronounce this, Daddle?
That sounds right. I think he got it. Hi, Daddle.
Daddle. I like your name. We'll see if your email is insulting. Hi, I've been listening to your podcast a lot lately while trying to sleep while taking a train at night because I can't afford the sleeping compartment and usually need a distraction from the iPad kids and gum-chewing grandmas. You're welcome. The podcast truly is perfect for this. Thank you. However, there is one question I really cannot find an answer to. Is the podcast actually funny?
No. Wait, go ahead. Is there more? Is that it?
There's a lot more.
Okay. All right.
There's quite a bit more. We're a quarter of the way
Let's
done.
save it then. We'll get to it.
Okay. Feel free to interrupt if you have opinions. In theory, I should be able to know the answer. I just don't laugh at anything you say, ever.
Well, this is insulting.
It's not great. And I have an unusually low bar for laughing.
Oh,
Come
even
on,
more
dude.
insulting.
Daddle. Daddle? Daddle, daddle, daddle.
Maybe it's a misspelling.
It could be. I think we have a somewhat similar sense of humor because you've made references to my two favorite TV shows, BoJack Horseman and Arrested Development, and I usually recognize several places I should laugh during an episode. It just does not happen.
You're so rude. I love it. Keep writing this. This is what you should be writing in. Write in about how you don't think it's funny, or you don't think it's interesting, or you think Garrett might be gay.
I don't think that's the theory out there, Tim.
That's the one I've heard. They always say one of these hosts is really gay.
Yes, it is you. Unabashedly, let's not beat around the proverbial bush here. It is you and the things you say and your natural reactions to things. Even off mics these days, it's getting weird.
I don't see how. Continue.
He continues. I have two main theories as to why. Number one, I genuinely cannot tell the difference between the two of you. That's depressing. Yeah. I can tell there are two different voices. I just can't keep track of who's who for more than like 2 minutes each episode.
You might have some sort of like, I don't want to say this, maybe left-sided temporal lobe damage?
It's possible. Let's keep going. If a majority of the jokes rely on some kind of dynamic between the two of you, that would explain my lack of laughter, as I see the two of you as one person changing their voice slightly while having a conversation with themselves.
Why do you listen to this show?
It would be maddening to me to have to deal with that. Although also, if you do actually believe that is happening, it's almost like a really neat parlor trick.
Oh, sure. Because we interrupt each other a lot.
Yeah. And once edited, there is a rhythm to the show. So if you are trying to sleep, it could be like white noise, especially if you have to think to process the language. I don't know. We'll keep going. Number 2. I'm Norwegian.
Oh, there we go. Think we figured it out, man.
And although I understand English perfectly, I notice I tend to have a harder time making my one American friend laugh than I have with my other friends. Interesting. Did the one of you who mentioned being in Bergen, which you pronounced horribly, by the way, have a problem with this then? I didn't actively seek to make anyone laugh. Also, fuck you, dude. Of all the things that you've said, this is the... Like, it is B-E-R-G... You did nail it. G-E-N. Bergen. What would you like me to say? Bergen.
Yeah.
Bergen. Anyway, are you just unable to make Norwegians laugh? Entirely possible, Daddle.
Yeah.
If you truly can't tell the difference between who's saying what, I actually do think that it would be hard to follow a lot of the jokes. Also, like, I don't know, Tim, you put a number on it. 35% of the jokes we're making are references to other jokes.
Yeah, but he seems like he listens to a lot of the show, so he should understand.
Sure, but a lot of those jokes are like references to movies and television.
But a lot of that's Norwegian language television that we were watching, so...
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, well, he continues. Either way, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Seems like we're doing good work.
Daddle, I think there is definitely a communication barrier. I'm not sure what it is. It seems to be unscathing meanness on your behalf, but also very funny, and we really, truly don't take anything we're saying negatively. Like, this is an excellent email. Thank you so much.
This is Tim, and I hate you.
Fuck. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, sorry. Normally when you begin the sentence with "this is," you then impersonate me and then say horrible things. So, instinct. Anyway, he says, either way, keep up the good work. You're always able to make me fall asleep despite the uncomfortable seats at the train to and from Bergen. Boy, kind of ended on a low note.
Yeah,
there.
so I think I can answer a lot of this for you. First of all, I think the key to the confusion definitely lies in the fact that you can't tell the difference between the two of us. For you see, I am funny and Garrett is decidedly not funny. So you're probably having some sort of like cognitive dissonance type reaction to that. And also, being that you are from Norway, I would like to wish you an honorable death at the hands of the Trolltunga. Isn't that how they die? The horrible mountain troll?
Eaten by a troll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Trolltog and hiked the whatever the fuck it was, went to the top of your glacier thing. It was terrifying. It was truly terrifying. It took like 12 hours and I almost died.
Was it pouring down rain at least?
The entire time, yes. I've never been hiking where you use all 4 limbs at the same time at all times and then have to put on a harness and climb vertically. That's not hiking. That's called climbing. That's a different thing.
It is a different thing.
Anyway, that's my email. Again, Daddle, thank you. Fucking phenomenal email. You're very funny / insulting, and that's just the kind of friends we like.
Yes. And to answer your question officially, I am funny, Garrett is not. 50-50 mix.
There's like 5 things on planet Earth that I can't get goaded into because I'm going to go too far and I'm either going to reveal how much this is bothering me or I'm going to say some really mean shit that I don't mean.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
So-
I'm just saying, listen,
Dude,
what you should have done is done a podcast, picked a second host of somebody that was less funny than you instead of somebody that is objectively far funnier.
That's very funny. I see the irony too.
You know who's not laughing? Daddle.
Daddle.
We love you, Daddle.
Yeah. I don't like the way you're saying it. Daddle, right in. How do we say your name? I hope it's not like a dad, like Tim's doing. I hope it's Daddle, like Miami-Dade.
Ooh.
What if he's like, it's Ralph? Fuck's wrong with you? All right, Tim, what email from an angry Norwegian did you... Actually, he doesn't seem angry, just disappointed.
I don't think he's that either. I think he likes it. I think he's just confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any confused foreigner email?
I have two things, actually. I have a Spotify comment from Steve, where I now go to listen to Eddie Bravo. Steve says Five Fingered Death Punch is, and this is true, the official soundtrack for stealing copper from unoccupied house trailers, and accurate. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, take that exposed copper wiring.
Yes. Now, my actual email, Garrett, this is from Bill Hatfield. He says, Dearest Timon and Garrett Funkel, I hope you are well and that the interns are remaining free from dysentery. As for our company, our journey westward has been filled with both hardship and awe. The endless miles of prairie stretch before us like an unbroken sea of grass. And though we have seen many beautiful sights, the difficulties weigh heavily upon us. The oxen grow tired, the weather is unpredictable, and at times the trail itself seems to mock our efforts. But despite it all, there's determination in each of us, a longing for the promise of a new life in Oregon. Daddle. The joke here is that there used to be a computer game called Oregon Trail, and he is pretending that he lives in the computer game. That's the joke. Anyway, I came across this Robert Christgau review of Nirvana's In Utero, an album that probably won't be on the show anytime soon, and wondered if Garrett wanted to play the Robert Christgau game.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I'll do that.
How about some Nirvana, you'll say? Oh yeah, great band. The reply will go, really had their own sound. What do you want to play? It don't matter that much, any of the first three. You mean Bleach? Nah, the Geffen albums. Not the outtakes thing, but never mind. Or Blue Baby, or what did they call the Steve Albini one? You mean the really hard one? In Utero? The guitar one? What do you mean guitar? It had songs on it. Well, so did the outtakes thing. The Albini one had better songs actually, and it was real cadmium besides. Toxic. You have to play it loud though. And aren't you supposed to crank the treble too? I like Nevermind better. I liked Blue Baby a little better too, but that was a good album. Go ahead. Once Madonna conks out, she sleeps through the night. She's a good baby that way. Nothing wakes her up. I hope you don't regret it in the morning. These days, I never regret anything in the morning. I'm too fucking tired to bother. Let her rip. Garrett, based on that review, what grade did Robert Christgau give Nirvana's In Utero?
I'm not gonna lie. This one's tough. I think the point of that giant charade was to give this an A-.
Very close. It was an A.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yes. Bill finishes, in closing, I'd love to hear an episode on Beck's Colors. A Ryan Adams episode might also be interesting. I know it might be hard on you two, but look me in the eye and tell me with a straight face that Ryan Adams never made a bad album. I don't think either one of us would argue that.
Not at all. We completely agree.
Until we reach Oregon, Bill.
Good email.
Yeah.
I also really like it taking however much time is necessary to explain the jokes to That'll.
Yes. Honestly, though, I really like the idea of when we have an off week that doesn't have a Robert Christgau review, doing the Robert Christgau game for albums we would probably never discuss.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. Listeners, write in. Do this work for us.
Yes. Bill Hatfield.
Hey,
well done.
Just put Christgau review in the title.
Yeah. Listeners, find a really good Christgau review, send it to us, and maybe we'll read it on air.
And we will give you credit for finding it.
Yes.
Because these interns don't do shit. They don't do shit.
Yeah.
Getting tired of it. Room and board, Tim. Room and board.
Well, I mean, they're sleeping in the stables.
Sure.
And sometimes in the walls.
Tim, that brings us to Music News of the Weird. Would you like to go first or would you like me to?
Probably me.
Great.
Music News of the Weird.
Garrett in What If I Stumble? What if I fall? What if I lose my step? Make fools of us all. News this week. One of the singers of those words has finally stumbled. You see, Gar, my boy, Michael Tate of Liberty University fame, DC Talk fame, God's Not Dead, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump fandom, and most recently, the Newsboys, Christian musician Michael Tate has unfortunately been accused of drug use and repeated sexual misconduct by multiple men. He is accused of having some non-consensual physical contact with at least 3 men between 2004 and 2014. The incidents involved Tate offering somebody cocaine on the Newsboys tour. I don't know if he took it or not, because he apparently then fell asleep, only to wake up to Tate fondling him, allegedly. Tate apparently massaged the buttocks and anal region of a man after he went skinny dipping with him, and then initiated unwanted sexual contact while the two were in bed together.
And then initiated unwanted sexual contact? What was all that butthole and butt cheek stuff?
I don't know.
That was a massage.
Another incident involved Tate giving a young man alcohol, massaging his feet, and then the article says once he was incapacitated, I don't know if it's from that alcohol and foot combo, allegedly fondled him a bit. Now, he has stepped away from the Newsboys in January, saying it was a shock even to himself, but it was the right move after fasting and praying about it. One Christian musician and also previous American idolater, Christian Slay, and his bandmate Tommy Lee, not that one, said he witnessed this and believed the behavior was odd, but didn't think of it as sexual assault until years later. They said, I had told other people about this story because I thought it was so hilarious at the time. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd, you know, like if you're trying to help a young Christian kid out. Now I realize it was wrong.
What? So, like, do you think he was like, hey, check this out, totally fondling his jennies?
Yeah, I mean...
It's like, what do you think that was about?
Yeah, I mean, this has apparently been an open secret in Nashville for years now, allegedly.
God damn.
But yeah, apparently he's been cocaining and
just a giant hypocritical monster.
Yeah, well, but again, Garrett, he prefaced this whole thing with, what if I stumble? What if I fall? So it's okay because he'd already
preempted it.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. Garrett, what other fondling news do you have for us today?
What a great segue, Tim, because that brings us to everybody's least favorite new segment of the show, Diddy Watch. Diddy Watch. Diddy Watch. This is where we round up all the news that's worth hearing to understand why Sean Diddy Combs is a monster and should never be let out of jail.
Now, Daddle, this is a bit that Garrett has been doing for some weeks in which he makes it seem like this is some sort of, I don't even know. Garrett, what is the joke here? Is there a joke?
I think we're trying to cope with the sheer horribleness of what he's done by making it as though it's lighthearted.
Okay, so to answer your question, Daddle, this part is not going to be funny.
God damn it. Don't do that. That's not how you support each other. That's not a good co-host at all.
I'm just warning everyone. I'm saying we shouldn't be prepared to laugh at the things you're going to say, because then people are going to think that you want them to laugh at these things. And so I'm protecting
Actually, you know what? You're looking out for me.
Yeah.
Because this isn't going to be funny. Actually, the very first part of this is very funny, and then it gets not funny at all. So let's get into it. This is the only part anyone can laugh at. Quick Diddy roundup. And I edited a lot out, folks, because a lot of it truly isn't funny, and the guy just seems to be a true monster. But I want to keep everyone abreast of the salient facts because, and this is true, there's a very good chance he'll be pardoned because monsters love monsters. Okay, the judge recently had to scold Diddy on Thursday for his, quote, nodding vigorously at the jury during witness testimony. And warned that continued interaction with the jury would result in Combs' own expulsion from the courtroom. During the questioning of witness Brianna Bongolan, who claimed that Combs dangled her over a balcony railing in 2016, Judge Arun yes.
Oh.
But except, like, she wasn't a criminal. She was a nice lady.
Oh.
Right. Anyway, Judge Arun Subramanian twice observed the defendant nodding in the direction of of the jury, and any defendant interaction or expression aimed at the jury are, of course, not allowed, as it could influence the jurors, especially if you were, quote unquote, nodding vigorously.
Well, I feel like if somebody's telling a story about how you dangled them over a balcony and you're looking at the person, you're just like, that's right, I did do that. I'm pretty, like, that's...
See, but if you're staring at the jury, one might take that as a lot of people could end up dangled on some balconies if they're not careful. That's how I do. Right. That's the most fun story I have in Diddy Watch this week. Diddy Watch continues. Sean Combs repeatedly called a hotel security guard, quote, my angel, and offered the man his favorite tea during a high-stakes negotiation to purchase the now notorious video of Combs kicking and dragging his ex-girlfriend. The security guard testified June 2nd that Combs would go on to hand the man a brown paper bag stuffed with $100,000 in cash to buy and bury the highly incriminating video, the guard told jurors.
Okay, quick quiz, Garrett. Would you do it?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. Would you?
I would take the money, and then I probably would give that video to somebody, and then I would hide from Diddy.
You should do that. Allegedly, you'll get Molotov cocktailed.
Yeah. I mean, well, I wouldn't, because I would have left that interaction saying, Garrett Harvey will take care of you, Diddy. Don't worry about it.
The Viper.
A la fea.
That's a callback to several episodes ago where Tim implied that I was an international hitman called the Viper.
Well, I don't know if hitman is the right term, but yeah.
Fixer.
Worse. You went the better route.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the T word.
No, I don't either. I just think we should leave it.
Mercenary.
Yes, a mercenary for the bad guys. Exclusively.
No, not true. Well, not true.
A mercenary fighting a war against people. Day.
What? Come on. You know we have to cut all that now.
Or bleep it, or maybe possibly put it in at the end after the song.
No, you can't imply that I murdered psychopath. Anyway, on June 6th, Diddy requested, at the surprise to pretty much everyone, another mistrial, declaring that witness testimony had been proven untrue regarding a certain balcony dangling incident as to the exact date at which it had happened, and therefore the entire trial was a sham. The judge mostly, I believe, ignored the request.
Yeah.
He could technically still do that, but was like,
that doesn't sound like reasonable grounds.
No.
Listen, we all admit that he did dangle you over that balcony, but that was on a Tuesday. You said Wednesday. We're all fine here.
Yeah. Tim, one of the most shocking bits in Diddy Watch this week is that Diddy's ex-girlfriend says that even after feds raided 2 of his residences, the quote-unquote freak-offs did not stop. She said there was one last one that she personally participated in August of 2024, about a month before he was arrested. How crazy are you?
Yeah, if the feds raid even one of your places, stop doing whatever the equivalent of the freak-off is that got them there in the first place.
Yeah, stop doing the thing they're accusing you of.
Yeah, because
They
maybe...
might be watching.
There it is.
Last bit of Diddy news this week. Diddy was quote-unquote fond? Maybe I should not say that. Diddy was fond of a male escort named Sly, whom he would pay to fly all over the United States to bang ladies while he watched. And the reason that I bring this up, Tim, is that this is a much bigger crime than just prostitution.
Oh, because it's
because
the state
he's
lines
paying
and
him.
stuff.
Yeah. And so this helps to solidify the case that he is a bit of a kingpin, but
Is
we'll
that
see.
technically sex trafficking?
It might be.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is.
It
I
at
think
least
it is.
meets the legal definition, I'm
Textbook
sure.
definition. Yeah. In the transcripts, apparently it was a girth issue.
Oh,
Did he
yeah,
like his
I get
girth?
it. I get it.
God damn it. That's an upsetting response.
Well, I'm just saying, I understand daddle.
Don't say that. Daddle, what Tim is doing here is saying the least expected sentence, creating a very funny transition. Now, Tim.
Upsetting transition.
Yes. But speaking of upsetting transitions, that ends all of my horrible Diddy news for Diddy Watch this week. What other weird and upsetting news do you have?
Well, Garrett, we have a brand new genre of music that was created just this week. Well, kind of. Officially created this week. You see, Timbaland, aka Timbo, is now making A-pop. He has launched an AI company called Stage Zero and has signed the first of his AI quote-unquote artists, Tata? I don't know how to say it. He said instead of producing just tracks, he will produce, quote, systems, stories, and stars from scratch. which of course means he's going to use large language models to profit from the work of others. Here's Timbaland's quote, "Tata is a living, learning, autonomous music artist built with AI. Tata is the start of something bigger. She is the first artist of a generation. A-pop is the next cultural evolution, and Tata is its first icon." You know how you have to announce who is the icon for the next cultural evolution. His company co-founder, Zaid Portillo, who is apparently a real person, said, "The artists of tomorrow won't just be human. They'll be IP, code, and robotics that are fully autonomous." Garrett, can you be IP and also autonomous? Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I hate everything you've said in this, not you, it's not you, but everything in this story, I think I might hate more than the Diddy watch.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be worse for our culture than Diddy. Yeah, all of this is gross and can go fuck itself. Garrett, your news.
Ugh, yeah, that is disturbing. Tim, we may be getting exactly the very movie we just asked for news. In unexpected casting news, Nick Jonas will apply the makeup of the Star Child and strap on the guitar to portray Mr. Paul S. Stanley in an upcoming Kiss biopic.
I was 90% sure you were going to say that Yogi had been cast in a separate Owen Wilson remake, but I'm pleased to know about this.
A competing vehicle, a remake of Marley and Me. Yogi will be playing me.
where Yogi plays the Owen Wilson and
the Owen Wilson role.
Garrett plays Marley.
The Marley. I'm adorable and tragic. I give an adorable and tragic performance.
Spoilers?
I don't think it is. Anyway, Tim, listen to these facts. According to Deadline, Jonas will be providing his own vocals on Kiss's Stanley sung classics in Shout It Out Loud, an authorized, so you know it's going to be good, Mick G directed biopic about Kiss that is co-produced by Stanley and Gene Simmons.
I hope that it has the seriousness of Charlie's Angels with the aesthetics of that fucking Terminator movie.
I think it's going to be a nightmare.
Oh, that's what I was describing. Yeah,
I suppose
this
so.
seems... I mean, I'm absolutely going to watch this.
Tim, what other news do you have?
In ongoing gasm news this week, Garrett's personal mentor, Smokey the Smoke Show Robinson, has fired back at the 4 women accusing him of sexual assault and rape and false imprisonment, and suing him for $50 million by countersuing them for $500 million, despite the fact that they were all employed as his housekeepers and do not have any money. He is suing them for slander, infliction of emotional distress, and financial elder abuse. His lawyers are claiming that they're just trying to extort the 85-year-old horn dog, and that Smoke and his wife treated them as extended family, took them on vacations, which I'm sure they did. Their servants probably have to go on vacations with them, gave them financial support, and also maybe that they were robbing Smoke when they were employed. This, of course, has a name that Garrett's going to be super into. It is SLAP, Strategic Litigation Against Public Participation, aka intimidation lawsuits, not meant to win anything, just meant to tie somebody up in court, put undue financial strain on somebody that doesn't have the resources, or just scare someone into shutting the fuck up until an 85-year-old man can run out the clock on his crimes.
Good lord, the news this week is tough.
Yeah. The point is, though, don't countersue for $500 million. That doesn't make you look not like an asshole.
Yeah, it's a very Mr. Burnsian move.
Yeah. Garrett's gasm news. News that made you gasm. News that might...
gasms.
We need to re-listen to that album again. That was
shouldn't
wild.
Do that. It was disgusting. In my final news story of the week, escaped inmate has asked Lil Wayne, NBA YoungBoy, and Meek Mill for help. Mr. Antoine Massey is one of the 2 men who remains at large as of the reading of this story after escaping a New Orleans jail last month. Earlier this week, he appeared in a post that was nearly 10 minutes long on Instagram, denying he came up with the quote-unquote plan for the jailbreak, saying, quote, "I didn't break out, I was let out." Proclaiming his innocence, he is of course facing charges of domestic violence, which is the reason that he was arrested, and asking for help. The rappers are name-checked multiple times in the clip, which has since been deleted. And because there is really no sense or rhyme or reason to reality anymore, he then gave a quick shout-out to President Trump asking for his assistance. Trump, of course, previously granted a pardon to Lil Wayne, and he just gave clemency to NBA YoungBoy, so so it's not that crazy. Tim, so far the rappers have not responded, at least publicly, to the request for assistance from the escaped fugitive, but we'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Well, is this guy famous in some way? Does he have an audience who might vote for a certain someone?
No, I don't think so.
Probably out of luck then.
Ooh, tough break. Tim, what other news do you have?
My last news here, Garrett, and Tay news this week. Taylor Swift has bought back the rights to all of her masters for $360 million, leaving her with a measly $1,240 million in the bank. But this is good news. You can stop buying all those Taylor versions and just go back to the version of the album you liked in the first place. The money goes to her now, I guess. That's all.
Good Lord.
She's so rich.
I mean, she's so rich. I mean, good for her, I guess. If I made my own music, I would want to own that music.
Yeah. It always kind of struck me a little weird, though, when she was just like, I guess they didn't, she wanted first right of refusal, maybe, of it, which is fair. But the way it sounded, the way everyone phrased it was just like, those jackasses bought her music. Okay, but...
Yeah, but like... She signed that away. Contract. Yeah.
It came off as very like everyone's being mean to this billionaire.
Yeah, I never understood it.
Yeah,
like listen. We're not defending record companies. They're vile
and we
monsters.
Are not speaking ill of Tay.
Never.
Daddle, you have to understand that her fans are
killed.
Completely reasonable human beings, and we do not fear them. We fear reprisals from, I will say, Antifa pretending to be her fans. I don't really know. Yeah. It's just best not to insult her in any public forum because of how reasonable her fans are. Because they would never respond in a crazy way.
I think you're saying too much. Okay. I think you're saying too much. Yep. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Garrett, any more news for you?
Hell no. That brings us to my favorite part of the show where we announce what album we're going to be talking about next time we get together. And Tim, you've pulled the ball. What is the album?
The album, Garrett, is Merciful Fate. Don't Break the Oath. And on the back of this ping pong ball, it does say, recommended by Eddie Bravo.
Oh, come on. You're such a son of a bitch. I was going to say, I don't know anything about this. And of course I don't, because it's an Eddie Bravo band.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right, that's going to do it for this week.
In his defense, Garrett, he has only pointed us directly to absolute trash before, so high expectations?
I hate how much you're infecting my life with this guy. It's fucking terrible. All right, we got to wrap it up. I'm angry now. Way to end on a low note. As always, rate, review, subscribe, pledge your firstborn. We need all the help we can get, obviously. You can reach out to us, hatepodmail@gmail.com. Tell us all your hopes and dreams. I mean, you've heard the excellent emails we read today. That'll. Great work. Bergen. You can also find us on Instagram. That's HatePod. Twitter is Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. We're on all the platforms, subreddits, Discord servers, blah, blah, blah. You get it. For this week, next week, and a little bit of last, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been your other host, Timothy B. Richardson. And not a lot of people know this, but Garrett B. Harvey is the actual inspiration for the 2004 Tony Scott film, Man on Fire.
Yes, my role was Pita.
That's not true. He kidnapped so many children in Mexico in the 1980s.
No, what? Oh, come on now. Stop that.
You did, though.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. Full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.